It is Sunday, December 2nd, 2018.
Eh?
I am 23 years old and I'm interviewing my grandma, Maggie. Maggie, how are you?
I'm okay today.
Yeah?
Yeah. This morning I didn't feel so well because my blood pressure went a little high. But now it's more in control.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What is the first thing you remember from your childhood?
Oh, my childhood. I have very good memory. I remember almost everything. My father died when I was 2 years old, and the people in the neighborhood, he owned a grocery store, so he was very popular in the neighborhood. And a lot of people ask me, "Oh, well, you remember your father?" And I used to say yes. And they say I explain about something about my father that very unusual at my age,
Mm-hmm.
that I could remember so well.
What was life like for you as a child?
And
How was your life as a
after my
child?
father died, economically, my mother had very difficult time. My mother and my father, they were Spaniard. They were born in Spain, and we had no relative in Cuba. A few people from the same town where my parents
Mm-hmm.
were born. Was a big Spaniard community in Havana,
Mm-hmm.
but my childhood was very nice. I take very good advantage
Mm-hmm.
of my age. I was a little troublemaker. I like to skate a lot. I skate. My mother was very strict, so I've been in trouble because she don't allow me to go and escape.
Mm-hmm.
And was in Havana was very safe for the kids to be outside.
So tell me, how were your parents like from what you remember? And your dad
My parents,
leaving, yeah, like your mom.
oh, my mother very strict, a lot of discipline in my house. Uh, my mother was Catholic, and we went to Catholic school, which is a lot of discipline in Cuba, was very disciplined. Yeah. And my brother went to another Catholic school for boy. I went to one for a girl. It's a beautiful school across the coastline of Havana.
Mm-hmm.
So I I like the color of the sea in Havana, very very blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to school by myself. I picked it up. It was in Havana. It was safe for the kids to go to school by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened.
What did you hear about your dad's personality?
Hmm?
How was your dad from what people told you?
Oh, very nice, very kind person. He used to help a lot of people in the neighborhood. It was a poor neighborhood. And the people say, "Oh, your father was very nice. Always gave food for the people and whatever the people need." Very much friendly too. Very sociable person. When he passed away, his funeral was a big, big one.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, 1939, they say there were about 98 cars that went to the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
He was buried in a place for the people in that part of Spain, Asturias. Very nice part of the cemetery. Of course, I don't remember that. Probably I didn't go either.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a good student.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school. I learned to read and write in my house. So when I started school, I went to second grade in the Catholic school. And my grades were good, but I used to talk a lot. So I'd be in trouble a lot because they don't want to tolerate that kind of behavior in school.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Tell me about your brothers and sisters.
my sister, she was 17 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And there were two sisters. One was born in Spain, and my older sister, and the younger one.
Mm-hmm.
We were not born yet. they came to Havana, back to Havana. And one of my sisters died.
What was her name?
Dorinda.
Mm-hmm.
From she had the diphtheria. At that time was no antibiotic, and they even brought medication for her from Tampa. Was a big colony of people from that part of Spain too, but she couldn't be saved. My
How
father,
old was she when she passed away?
7 years old. They used to say she was very bright, and then when I was born, my father went crazy with me because I look alike like her.
Mm-hmm.
Only the difference that she got blue eye and I got the dark eyes. So my mother said that he was so happy when he carried me all day because he remembered my sister. And he died, and my older brother was 4 years old. My sister was 13 years old. 15 years old when my father died.
So your oldest sister's 13 years older than you?
Yeah. She was like my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She raised all. She was very sweet, and I love her so much. And she went to the same school I went. I went to the same school she went.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a lot of the teachers went to school with her. So when I went there, they spoiled me a little bit.
And what about the boys?
The boy went to they got a scholarship
Mm-hmm.
in one of the best Catholic school for boys. And my older brother started when he was 4 years old, and my other brother went when he was 5 years old. They were 4 years apart.
And what about, how many brothers did you have?
Hmm?
How many brothers did you have?
Only 2 brothers, my sister and me.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to that school until they finished.
Mm-hmm.
They became an accountant, both of them. So I went to the Catholic school up to the 6th grade. So I asked my mother that I want to go to another public high school, beautiful in Havana. But she won't let me go. She want me to stay in the Catholic school, but I want to go over there. But she agreed because she saw I couldn't pass the test. You have to take a big test. And maybe she saw I couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So I passed the test, and I was on the age, so she has to ask permission for me to go to the school. It was a big school in center of Havana, beautiful. Instituto número 1 de La Habana. And I was the younger one because a lot of people started when they finished 8th grade. So I took the test in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. So I got admission. So that first year was a little difficult for me because it was a big different with the other people, yeah, because public school is always different than the private school.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a new world for me. We have sport classes too, very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And the school was very good. We had a wonderful teacher. I remember a lot of them. Very professional.
So what
and I learned a lot.
What about your life as a teenager?
And then the political situation in Cuba changed because Batista made a coup d'etat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little difficult because the students protested, very involved in politics in Havana. So sometimes they closed my high school for 1 week, for 2 days, whatever, the police all the time. So finally, my mother pulled me out of there and she sent me to another school, a private school from the Spanish school,
mm-hmm.
for me to become an accountant. And then I didn't like too much. The change was no good for me. So finally, I went to work very young because my mother and my house wasn't. I had to help my mother to get some money. So I started to work in the medicine lab.
Mm-hmm.
I was very young, but the doctor, my friend asked him and he let me stay there. Was not illegal in Cuba at that time. Like it's sometimes in many countries too.
What, to work as a
To
young?
work at a younger age, yes. Was no regulation about that. So I went to, then from there, I went to school in the evening, in the high school. And then the political situation became more difficult. At that time, Castro was in war with the government, and they closed the university. I couldn't get in there. So I started to work in a big store in Havana.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met who would be my husband, Modesto. He just came, he was born in Cuba. His father was from Spain and his mother was Hungarian and German. And she went to Cuba because she got her family in Cleveland, Ohio. She was coming to meet them. But she had difficulty with the paper, and she was advised to go to Havana and wait for the paperwork. So she met what was my father-in-law, and they married. Even they have difficult understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because my father-in-law didn't spoke only Spanish, and my mother-in-law, she spoke German and Hungarian and Yiddish.
Mm-hmm.
She was a very bright woman. His father was from the army in the Austrian Empire.
So you met your spouse as a teenager?
Yeah, so she loved the life in Cuba, Havana. She always say that no place like Havana, but the weather was not good. In the summertime, she got very sick, and the doctor advised her husband to take her out, to come to the United States or to go to Spain. So they went to live in Spain. My husband at that time, he was 16 years old, so he went to Spain. Well, he always wanted to go back to Cuba. For him to go to Cuba, he got to go to the Spanish army because he was minor. By the Spanish law, he was a Spaniard because his father was Spanish citizen. For him to get the permit to leave Spain to Cuba, he got to go to the army. But at that time, he got the dual citizenship,
Mm-hmm.
Cuban and Spanish. But to leave Spain, he got to go to the army. So he went to Havana. At that time was 1956, and was not a political situation like before, like later on. So I met him in the store because he got a lot of Spanish friends in that place. The store was owned by people from the same town where my parents were from Spain. And was my only boyfriend I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we used chaperona in Cuba. My nephew, my mother, my brother were the chaperone. I was not allowed to go outside with my boyfriend. But he came to visit me every day. So he got to come to my house. And then we married. But he said when he had to bring his parents from Spain,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as they came from Spain, we're going to get married. When they came, he formal went to my house with his parents to ask for at that time they say for my hand, ¿cómo se dice aquí?
Yeah.
Yeah. And gave me the ring. And we get married in 1 year after.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, yesterday Was my anniversary, 60 year of marriage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Long time.
yeah. So there, we had a nice life. He went to he worked as an accountant in a foundry factory until the government took over the place. So we decided to come to the United States. My sister came before because her husband,
What about your
his
children?
father was American. He was from Boston, Massachusetts. Then I have my two children.
Where were they born?
They were born in Havana. I married when I was 21 years old. And my son was born when I was 23 years old, my first son. And then the other son came 4 years after. So the difficult time in Cuba was unbelievable. No food, everything with the ration book. But you know, people help each other. We went through and we want to come to United States. We asked permission and 2 or 3 years to leave Cuba.
To get a visa?
To come to United States, yes. Anytime we can go to Spain, but my husband didn't want to go to Spain because at that time Spain wasn't economically very difficult. So finally, when the time came, we came to New York. My sister was in New York with my brother-in-law. I had 3 children. And they're doing very well. They got a beautiful apartment in Park Slope. And from there, we moved around there, and later on, we moved to the Bronx. We got a job as a superintendent, my husband. It was good for me to stay at home with my 2 kids. It was a part-time job, and my husband worked in Wall Street in maintenance. But after a few months, he asked that if he could be in an accountant in the same company. And they tested him, and he got the job there. From there, he worked all his life in the Atlantic Mutual Company. That is second insurance, most important after the Joy of London, until his retirement. And we did very well. Then we bought 2 laundromats, and we saved money from the super job. We saved money because we didn't pay rent, and we bought a house where we live now. I bought a house. We bought a house 50 years ago, and we're doing very, very well.
Yeah.
I educate my 2 sons. I've been very strict with them too. So we had a good life in the United States. We have freedom. We have everything we want. We travel a lot. We went to Spain many times. We went to Spain, to Portugal, to France, to England. We went to Russia. We went to Budapest. My husband has family in Budapest. And we went to Germany, Stuttgart, Munich. My husband loves to travel.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you could change anything about your life, would you?
No.
No?
I'm very satisfied with my life. I consider myself a very lucky person.
You are very
My young age in Cuba was very nice. My brother-in-law, he was member of one private club in the country club. And we went to the beach every Saturday and Sunday. We have boats. We dance. I love to dance. And we had a wonderful life, really. I don't change anything. And then I have my grandkids that I love them very much.
How many?
Stefan, Eleni, Ariana, and Laura. We have 4. 3 of my oldest son and 1 from my younger son. My first son, my oldest son, he became a teacher. He studied in Hunter College. And he got a master in City College. And he became earth science teacher at Clinton High School. First in the intermediate school, IS 80. And then he went to Clinton High School, in the same school, high school where he went when he was a student. His alma mater, yeah. At that time was only for boys.
Not anymore.
No anymore, yeah. And he did very well. Very smart too. My youngest son, he went to the Kennedy High School. And then he went to John Jay. Never gave me problem, very obedient, very well manners, very educated, and very sociable. I'm very sociable too. My friend, a lot of Cuban, we meet in my house every Saturday and Sunday. We have like a Cuban club, always talking about politics and Castro and whatever, you know. But we had a lot of good friends. A lot of them, they moved to Florida. One son passed away. But I have a very good memory of all my friends. También tuvimos muchos perritos.
Yeah.
I love animals too. And my youngest son, he loves animals too. My oldest son is known for animals. But we have a lot of dogs. They had a German Shepherd. And then she had baby. And everybody want to keep one, and they ended in my house. Because I bought the two houses, and we had two houses together. The first one I bought, and then my neighbor was selling her house, and I bought the house. So that house were born my 4 grandchildren. This like together. And we have the driveway, divide the houses, and we open up the driveway. So the kids, they had a good time playing in the backyard all the time. And the animal, we have 7 dogs. I had 7 dogs.
In one house?
¿Eh?
In one house.
Y después tuve negrito que. Yeah.
The last one died not that long ago. Scruffy.
Yeah. The crow, ¿cómo es?
Scruffy. Scruffy.
Scruffy. Más sinvergüenza que era el diablo ese. Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell me about your life that was important? Maybe when you got sick?
I love to read a lot. I like music. We went to the to theater a lot. I like the opera too. We went to the Met many times. We had a good life. And we have a lot of friends. And Saturday, we meet in friend house in Jersey. A lot of our friends were in Jersey. They play the piano, the one singer. Wonderful time, really.
You cheated death a few times, huh?
Oh, I cheated death 2 times. I was shoveling snow a few years ago. I think I was 73.
Almost 6 years ago.
Eh?
It was almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
I was shoveling snow in my backyard because my somebody cleaned my driveway. But it was snowing again. I went to shovel it, but the snow was very wet because they put ice. And I was moving because to me it was nothing new because we were super. I used to remove the snow and the laundromat too. I don't know what happened that day. I felt the pain in the middle of my chest. I knew it was from the heart. And then I sit in the garden. I called my grandson and told him to come down, don't get scared, but I was in the middle of a heart attack. So I don't want to go to Montefiore Hospital. I want to go to Columbia Presbyterian, which is a little far from here because I live in the Bronx, the other is in Manhattan. So a lot of people surround me and say, Mommy, you're not going to get alive there. I said, well, that's my choice. So I went there. When I was right there, I was in coma. And they made a EKG, didn't show an infarct, so they get confused. They didn't know what I have, what happened. What I have a dissection of the aorta. My aorta broke down like an aneurysm, and they found that 24 hours after. I was more than lucky because the the surgeon who came to see me, he told my son, I don't know what your mother has. If she has what I think, she's not gonna survive because the survival rate is only 1% in young people. At her age, I didn't see nobody survive that. So finally, the next day, one of the nurse, a male nurse, he said when he saw the commotion, because I used to work in the public school in Washington High, and my granddaughter put in Facebook was it happening to me. So a lot of parents and the community and the teacher and everybody went to the hospital. And the nurse said when he saw so many people and he saw my son and my granddaughter crying, he felt bad next day. And then he asked the nurse to take my blood pressure in the right arm because my left side was dead completely, no blood pressure. And they found that I have a little blood pressure, so they called the surgeon. And he said, oh, I think it's from the aorta. So they made a new test. And he told my son, say, I want you to do the surgery. He said, but your mother can't survive that because it's very difficult. She's not going to pass the surgery. So my son said, I don't care. I want you to open up. No matter if she died, she died. So he did the surgery. He started at 9 o'clock at night and he finished 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, 11 hours.
11 hours. And then he came out, he said to me later, and he told, she survived. She went through, but I don't think she's going to survive.
The recovery.
Yeah. So a few days after, he came with a team to visit me in the ICU, in the thoracic unit in Millstein. And I was very alert. My brain didn't suffer anything, and my tongue either. And I say, thank you so much for saving my life. And he got a little emotional because I kissed his hand. He's a Japanese, Hiro Takayama. He did surgery in Clinton, Barbara Walter. And he got emotional. He said, no, I have to thank you because you was a big experience for me. You don't know how much I learned from your case. And I say, I hope you say younger life because my age, I'm ready to go. So everybody laughed. So I look at everybody. It was about 11, 12 people. At the end, I saw a guy, he looked Spanish to me, like Mexican. And I said, oh my God, you part of the, in Spanish, are you part of the group? And he said, yes, I was in the ER when your grandson brought you. So the next day, when I came back to work in the ER, I saw your family and nothing happened. They didn't know what you have because at that time they didn't have diagnosis. And then I was the one who asked the nurse to take your blood pressure. And after that, they found you have blood pressure. They decided to open up. And I say, I thank you as much as I also Takayama, because without you, he can save my life. So I told him in front of everybody, the people laughed. And he gave me his name, Miguel Santiago from San Salvador. I remember very well. Look at that, eh? What a memory. Yeah, I used to work in the school, and I work with the school-based support team, psychologists, social worker, the administration. And they can't believe I can't remember everybody in the school. We have almost 2,000 students. I can talk about everybody. So when we had the PPC meeting, that was once a week, they always wait for me to say what's wrong with that child, if I know what the problem is, if a language, is a social, is whatever, So I used to visit family at home. So I work with the family. That was my position, family worker. And I worked in that school for 23, almost 24 years.
Yeah.
So everybody liked me in that neighborhood. That's why they went to the hospital.
Yeah, you had like 50 guests.
Eh? Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God. If I go around there, they go crazy. They say, I did so well for the family. I give a lot of information. I guide them, and I brought the first Child Plus in New York City was in my school.
Mm-hmm.
I called Albany, and I asked. I heard about the program, and they say it was a secret. I said, well, it's a secret, but it's more than to one people, so it's not a secret. Somebody told me and gave me the phone number. So I called Albany. I needed for the community because at that time, were Spanish people arriving to, and they have no language. They have no money to go to the hospital, medical, whatever. So we need a lot of help. So they finally gave me the address. So I went to the place. They still didn't finish making the office. So they gave me service for my community. That's why people love me so much, yeah.
Is there anything else you want to tell me about
Eh?
your life?
Eh? Okay.
Is there anything else you want to tell me about your life?
No, I used to take my grandkids to the school. When the Catholic school was closed, I took them to my school and they were allowed to be there. So they saw how the community needs, how the kids need some time.
The ins and out of the DOE?
Yeah, a lot of help. And some people need a speech, some people need behavior, everything. And we had a program that helped the community, the Children in Society. It's a corporation that donate money for the school. And they gave a lot of help to the community. Legal advice, money for apartment, money for clothes or for food. Very good. So we did very well in that school.
All right, our life review is over.
I retired. They didn't want me to retire, but I
Guess
said, I can come here in the wheelchair. There's time for me to stay home and let the young people to get the opportunity to do what I did.
Yeah.
So now, after that, I have another situation. I have an infection, a urinary tract infection, and I went in septic shock in the same hospital. I survived twice. They call blue coat. That's what the head nurse from the thoracic unit passed to my room and say, Maria Mark, are you here again? I say, oh my God, you remember me after 3 years? And he said, you are unforgettable because we're still talking about your surgery here. And when they called it blue coat, I went down and I saw your family again. I said, oh my God, here she is again. You are very strong. I can't believe that. He was so nice. And I said, who you are? He said, oh, I'm the head nurse in the thoracic unit in the Millstone where you are now. Have you been here before? I said, oh, I don't remember that. Mm-hmm. And I survived. They can't believe that I survived.
You were in a medically induced coma.
Yeah. My blood pressure went very low. They revived me. They put me a lot of saline IV. And then I couldn't get out from my bed. They teach me how to walk again. They sent me to a rehabilitation center. Mm-hmm. And I spent about 15, 20 days there. Mm-hmm. The very famous place in New Rochelle.
Or the rehab center?
Sí.
I was away at school, I don't remember.
Ese como es sí es famoso, ese ahí fue donde la mamá de
Burke.
Burke.
That's in White Plains.
White Plains, yeah.
I wasn't here. I was
Very nice.
away at college.
They teach me how to get out from my bed, to walk around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still walking
Pretty
with
good.
difficulty, but I driving. I live on my own in my big house by myself. I do everything. I clean my sidewalk. I talk to everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody, I'm famous here. They call me mommy. Everybody. Everybody know me. I live in that house for 50 years.
Yeah. Long
Yeah.
time.
So they pass by and say, Mommy, how you doing? You need help? I say, no, this is my therapy. I gotta do my exercise every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm strong, mentally strong. My body's not as strong, but I'm still. I take my daughter-in-law to work every day to Canal Street by car. And I go and come back. I wish to have dogs. I love dogs, but I can't have dogs. It's too much work for me. But I have 3 cats now. I didn't adopt them. They adopt me. And I like animals. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 stray cats, huh?
A stray cat, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So funny. We have one at 5 o'clock. He like to go outside at night.
Who, Charlie?
No, el negrito. And then about 5 o'clock, I get up very early. He cry at my door. I open the door. And he come inside, he eat, and he go to sleep. He got a chair, and I have his prepared for him, and he go to sleep 5, 6 hours. Pobrecito.
And then he goes to play?
Y si no se sube arriba de la mesa mía. Arriba de mis papeles, hay veces que me imagino el papel importante ese, pero... So I live a full life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now 81 years old.
You still got more in you.
My memory is very good. I love to read too. But I don't read that much like before. But I always used to read.
All right, we're done.
Okay, it was so nice, Mommy.
Yeah? You had fun?
What you had to say about your grandmother? Nothing. Yeah.